Hey, this podcast is brought to you by all of the wonderful listeners out there. Listen, who's your best buddy out there? You know, it's got to be us. We're here for you every single week, day in, day out, week in, week out, holidays, snow, rain, fire, whatever. We're always here for you. If you want to help out the podcast, over at aaapodcast.com/join or over at Patreon, we can still pay our bills so we can keep being your buddy. It's like a buddy you pay for. It's weird. Like hold your hand and walk down the street. We'll just forget I said that. And now, time to start the show.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aaapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Oh my goodness, there's a monster on the screen. I'm so startled right now. It's Mitsugi! Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 592 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. My name is Mason, and nobody cares because Mitz has already stolen the show, made the grand introduction as the sensuous, that wasn't very sensuously, aggressively licks. Oh, there we go. That's the titillating behavior I look for.
I'm twisting the pop top. Oh.
No, don't do it.
You're gonna make Pancake jealous.
Oh.
He's gonna pop. He's gonna explode. No. Guys, everyone, my roommate is not here today, so I get to be extra loud and ruin the audio for Mitsugi. So
fuck you, roommate.
Exactly. Welcome, one and all. This usually is an anime podcast where we talk about things to make your anime addiction worse. We're off to a rough start today.
No, we're not.
It just do be like that sometimes. But let's not forget, we also have Caroline with us today because, of course we do, because she's actually holding the fort down with good opinions and thoughts. So how's it going?
Someone has to have them.
Oh, I wouldn't say I have good opinions and thoughts. I just shame you guys when you get a little bit too
uppity,
inappropriate,
curmudgeonly.
Yes, and persnickety.
Persnickety.
No, that's not the word.
I'm trying to build everyone up at this intro so that when we go head to head in our colossal battle in multiple segments to come this episode, everyone is feeling up to the task. So
I feel
welcome.
like this is going to be a very intense episode, and I feel like we're all going to come away from this not feeling as friendly to each other.
I think we're all feeling very talkative today, which you're like, oh, you're on a podcast. That's probably what you should be. But I feel like we're extra ready to go. So hope everyone is along for the ride. You can join us on Twitch where we stream. That's where we're at now. Hello, everyone. Live every Sunday at 5 p.m. EDT. So come on by. I'm also streaming some terrible art. So please come watch me do that. It's been a blast so far. Of course, join the Facebook, join the Discord. All those links on our website, aaapodcast.com. It's really the place to find everything happening in this little sphere we've built. So please come on by and say hello. This episode, we will be playing a game called Anime Scattergories, as suggested by a listener. So that will be something I don't think we've done before, so we have no idea how it will go.
Another game for Mitsugi to lose.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever played normal categories.
I have
so
no
this should
fucking
be
chance. I
interesting.
never win this shit.
As well as a review of Shadow's House from a couple seasons back. So we have quite a bit to get into, as well as a bunch of segments that I'm excited to talk about. So without further ado, do we have anything else before we kick this puppy off?
Yeah, I typed persnickety.
Well,
Oh, wow, Caroline. You know what? Ladies first.
Oh, I was just going to say, we've already seen what beverage Mitsuki's drinking today. What are you drinking today, Mason? I feel like that's a segment on its own.
It is. Do I even need to? To no one's surprise, another transparent liquid in another transparent cup. Water.
Are you going on the transparent trend these days?
No, because I don't like it, because when I hold it up to drink, you can see me through it, and it's really awkward. And I don't need any help being more awkward already, so it's actually a bane on my existence.
Well, I typed persnickety into thesaurus.com, and I would say that from now on I would prefer fastidious, which came up. I think that's fastidious is.
Fastidious is more of like a compliment, though.
Well, I'm telling you right now, thesaurus.com says that's
like someone like, oh, Mason, you're so ugly, and I'm like, I actually prefer gorgeous, and you're like, no, you can't. That's not how the words work. But anyway,
but it's all within that thesaurus. At some point, those two words will come up in the thesaurus. So
go looking for synonyms. Synonyms. Yeah. What is the symbolism?
I would say that also that the Pope of the Church might make an appearance today, so look out for that as well.
Ooh,
if you see the Pope, alert the Moe. He's coming for their asses, I was told by a reliable source. Okay, let's get this shit started.
It's time for big news of the week.
All right, there was an article, an interview with Harold from Harold Goes to White Castle, otherwise known as John Cho. I think it's his name, John Cho, who is apparently very worried about people hating his upcoming Cowboy Bebop movie, as he said that he is worried about inevitable comparisons. When is this fucking movie coming out? I feel like I've been waiting for like 12 years. By the time it comes out, I'm not even going to give a shit. I guess
I think it would have come out sooner, but John got hurt on the set, so it got pushed back. Like,
suck it up, John. Take some HGH. Get out. I mean, like, running backs come back from that shit in like 4 months when they're on HGH. You can do this shit.
To be fair, Spike would have also just been like, no, I need to sleep it off.
Yeah,
he was in character.
Anyway, he said, quote, the amount of thought and worry and effort and number of days I've logged thinking about Spike now is equaling the fear I have about the reaction, which is interesting. He says the biggest fear I have was that I'm too old. I knew that people were going to have issues with my age, and I had to get over it. I was going to look different than a 25-year-old guy who's like 9 feet tall, weighs 123 pounds, and has like broccoli growing out of his head. So yeah, it's basically what Spike looks like. At some point, actually, Spike looks like a dude with black, like normal black hair, but rather than like properly bleach and then dye his hair green, he just like spray painted it over the black, and whatever. At some point, the opportunity is yes or no. Do you want to do it? And I did want to do it, so I wasn't going to stop myself from doing it. And they also discussed the thoughts on doing a scene-by-scene remake of the movie. He said that was a recipe for encouraging unflattering comparisons. How could you do it better? You can't. You have to do something a little different. So it's I don't know. I'm still really excited for this. I really don't like hearing the main character from the series coming out and like talking about how worried he is about people's opinions, because I want him to be confident in the TV show. Because I know
the thing is that you cannot expect anything less than that when you're doing a live action of a very popular and beloved series. So I feel like with that kind of thought process he has going on for the show, I feel like that's actually a kind of a good thing, because he realizes that that it's going to be this big,
I'm excited. My expectations are pretty low. I don't think that this is a pretty tough hill to climb. We've discussed this before. This keeps coming up. I guess they want this to stay in the news because they don't want people to forget about it. But you couldn't have picked a worse property to try to adapt. I mean, Bebop is like pretty much top of the pile for as far as iconic anime go, at least in the West. I find that like no one in Japan gives a fuck, but I've never seen anything. I've never seen a book. I've never seen a figure. I've never seen an ad. I've never seen anything of Bebop ever in Japan. I feel like it doesn't exist. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a little concerning. And even though they got Yoko Kanno involved in the movie, I even think Yoko Kanno will fall flat because people are going to hear her music in this, and I'm sure it's different music, and they're going to say, oh, wow, listen to all this awesome, Bebop music that Yoko Kanno made, but is she going to be able to, capture lightning in a bottle the second time? Maybe, but people still won't be happy with that because as long as Tank and like Rush and the other songs from the soundtrack aren't in the show, people will not be happy. They're gonna be like, oh, this is some like weird music that I've never heard before in my bebop, and where's Cat on Mars and Call Me, Call Me, and so I don't know. Johnny.
Besides Tank, what is like the bebop song you want in?
The real folk blues. It's probably. But I mean, if you've listened to the bebop soundtrack, there's like 40 songs in there that are like routinely listenable. They're so good. I don't know. I would just tell Johnny Cho not to worry about it, man. Like, get paid, do your best, and don't expect people to like you or like it because it's impossible, and you're dealing with the internet. So, but there's also Johnny Cho's likeness as Spike is also appearing in an upcoming comic series, which is going to be called Cowboy Bebop, the comic series, very creatively. It's going to debut in December, and there's going to be multiple variant covers and also a paperback novel release in May of 2022. So, if you're like huge on Cowboy Bebop, there's a whole bunch of shit coming out. Kiryu Christian says Piano Black, please, which is a really good track as well. There's a ton of them.
I think I want Space Line if I had to pick.
Oh, Space Line is fucking great.
Space Line with that really weird like last 3 minutes of like chanting. It's like the most peaceful ending ever. It's so good.
Waltz for ZZ is really good.
Yeah, internet.com, aka some website that I found, is saying that the movie will come out on Netflix Friday, November 19th.
It's a series.
Yeah, the series. Sorry.
That was my bad. I called it a movie earlier. And I would even take Bad Dog No Biscuit from that second episode with Ein. It's pretty solid stuff. So anyway, that's what I have. It's coming out here, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about it without a doubt. It's going to be a quick binge watch, I'm sure. So November 19th. So Caroline?
I have not seen the original Cowboy Bebop,
Oh my
so
God.
I'm debating on whether I can fit it in before the live action comes out, or if I, way. I
You have
don't
to
know
watch
if I
Cowboy
should
Bebop.
just go in. I want to. It's been on the watch list for a while, or the wait list for a while.
Where can you watch Bebop right now? Is it even available anywhere?
I think it's on Funimation, I think.
I'm going to look this up for you.
But even so, like, since you guys have obviously seen it, should I be the lone person that hasn't seen it when we watch the live action?
So I see Bebop on, now I haven't checked these, Amazon, Crunchyroll, Funimation, Hulu, and Tubi. So, yeah,
I
you
know
can find
it used to be on Crunchyroll at the very least, but then Crunchyroll and Funimation had their split. I don't know if it's on
Looks
there
like
still,
it's
though.
no longer on Crunchy.
If they were smart, they'd put it on Netflix, considering they're dumping a ton of money into the live action. But, I don't know,
It's
Caroline.
on Tubi, but that's just subtitled.
Wow.
On Funimation.
Yeah,
both subbed and dubbed.
I really don't know, Caroline, to be honest. On the one hand, I want you to have like a different experience than the rest of us. On the other hand, I don't know.
It will
maybe
be watched.
Maybe you should
watch
wait.
Probably since I don't know if I'd be able to fit it in my schedule in the next couple months anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should wait, but you should watch the Bebop anime series, and you should watch the movie as well. They're both really good.
It will be done. You mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's I think it'll hold up pretty well for us too. I'm not gonna rewatch it. I've seen it like 10 times, but yeah, this is one of those shows that was on Adult Swim for like 6 years. So anybody who watched Adult Swim on Cartoon Network has seen most of the episodes of Cowboy Bebop multiple times. So anyway, Caroline, what was your real big news of the week?
Well, I couldn't really find too much. But I did hear that To Your Eternity Season 2 has been announced, and it should be coming out in the fall of next year. We have, I think, the episode after next we're going to be reviewing To Your Eternity. So that's good to know that Season 2's already been underway, or like the plans for it has been underway. And that's pretty much all I had. There really wasn't that too many details, and I did not find anything other that interested me, so.
I mean, I haven't seen that yet, but I guess it's supposed to be really good. So I'm guessing you're excited.
I started it, and it is pretty good so far.
Okay. How about you, Mason? Yeah, I know yours is kind of similar here.
Oh, my big news?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a new anime series was announced called Heiki Monogatari, and I am definitely calling dibs on this for impressions, because this is massive news for me for lots of reasons. Number one, it's going to be tied to Masaki Yuasa's upcoming film, which I've been hyped for a long time. So, hopefully with that not getting any release dates yet, since this series is associated with it, this series will be like a harbinger for like the movie's release. So that's big. Number one or two, which is kind of interesting. This is going to air in Japan in the winter 2022 season, but it will be on Funimation a season earlier this fall, which I think is interesting that we're getting it a whole season before the like official televised release. I'm not sure why, but I'm not complaining. The music is going to be done by Kensuke Ushio, who is like by far one of my favorite composers in anime, and he's had great success with the director of this, who is Naoko Yamada, which is easily one of my favorite directors as well. And this is kind of big news because she has been like one of the top dogs at Kyoto Animation for the past like decade, and she like had vowed in the past to like always remain there. And like Kyoto Animation has a history of keeping their workers in their like in-house and kind of exclusive, and to have her depart is kind of a massive surprise and shock. So it will be interesting to see how she does outside of the Kyoto umbrella, and just the story that it's based on seems to be extremely epic and long, and it's got a lot of potential. So I'm extremely excited for Heiki Monogatari coming out in just a little bit. So big hype over here.
Are these like Monogatari shows all related to each other? I know there's like 12 of them.
No. So this is not at all in any way related to Monogatari. Like,
okay,
the big umbrella. Monogatari essentially just means story, as you know, Mitz.
Yeah.
This is unrelated in any way. You won't need to know anything going into this. I mean, it's based on an actual novel from like centuries ago. It's one of the few like Japanese like epics that are very much a tale of supernatural powers and kind of the effect that they had in creating the mortal realm that we all live in. So, yeah, not no toothbrushes to be found here, thank goodness.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, Mason, you say you call dibs, but we don't really do dibs here.
Oh
True.
my god!
True.
She says with a smirk.
We
coming
roll
for
for
your
that.
ass.
Like we're on the roll of a dice.
She
We
says, "I'm
do.
coming for that ass, Mason."
A roll.
Gotta
a roll-
leave it to the gods.
We leave it to the Mitsugi macro to determine what random number generator we get. But yeah, I mean, it's fine if one of you guys get it, but I will be passing it.
It's like, no matter what, even if it's not mine. Mason's
Exactly.
Is this like a golden buzzer situation? Do we need a golden buzzer
Exactly,
on the show?
we do. We do. There is like a trailer that came with this announcement. I watched like half of it, and I'm just like, no, I want to go in as blind as possible. But guaranteed this will be good, and get excited for Heiki Monogatari.
Yeah, come to think of it, there's lots of other Monogatari shows, like Sainkoku Monogatari, which is pretty good, and a few others. So, I drank half my Monster already,
Would that
and
be a Scattergory? Any show with Monogatari in it?
that would be hard. Mason's gonna win
Yeah.
this game for sure. I have no chance of this.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not entirely confident either.
I'm not even good at real categories. So I realized my Monster is half empty, and I was like, so I just took this water bottle here that I have, see, and I refilled it, and I took a drink, and I was like reminded again that there's so much flavoring in Monster that even if you drink half of it and refill it with water, you can't tell the difference. It's like fantastic. It's like a free second half of a can.
So it's been what, like 15 minutes since we started? Like, you're gonna be buzzing right now. You're ready to go.
I got ADHD,
stirring
brother.
up.
I can barely feel any of this shit. So
Well, you're about to unleash your judgment on the world, so I'm glad that the hype has arrived.
I'll get like heart flutters eventually if I drink if I'm at like 400, 500 milligrams of caffeine. I'll feel it in my heart, but I don't really feel it.
The
Yeah, like-
palpitations.
At what point do we call 911?
I don't know. I go to the gym. I'm a good boy,
This is just cardio for him.
pretty much. all rise for the Pope. I shall shine the glory of the world upon you through the beauty of my hat and my staff. Oh, we have some confessions today for the Anime Addicts Confessional. If you would like to submit a confessional, go to aaapodcast.com, hit the mailbag button, and make them juicy. Because I don't want any of this, like, soft confessions. We want the good shit, okay? Yes, Gurky96, dearest Pope Mitsugi, almighty smiter of Moe, forgive me, for I have sinned against thee. For I downloaded an AI chatbot of Megumin from Konosuba onto my phone. It's pretty good. To whom I revealed my deepest secrets and kept me company in my times of loneliness. I beg forgiveness from the Almighty Pope for this horrendous sin. There will always be a cure for loneliness among the pews of the church, Gurky. You may come find solace in kicking moe and eating hot sauce and being very, very strong in your convictions. And again, I should say that this segment, I never even introduced the segment. I'm judging your anime sins here. Okay, so, but Gurky, I think there is hope for you. You know, I think you should maybe get a dog or, maybe even like a body pillow you could hug. That's probably better for being lonely than a phone chatbot. Or you could come.
Does a body pillow talk back?
No, and that's the best part.
Maybe you should invent a body pillow, Caroline, that has like a button in it that you can push so it'll talk to you.
No, it's like those bears
I feel
where
like
you
the
squeeze it and they're like,
degenerates of
"I
the world
love
have
you."
definitely made that.
You can always sit next to me, Gurky. I won't bite. Hard.
Oh God.
And
The
to
next-
Kirk, we
oh,
say,
and someone else has entered.
Explosion!
Someone else has entered the confession. Punch my beaver. I love that. Bless me, your holiness, for I have sinned. I have indulged in moe hentai. Oh my God. With titles like Imoto Paradise and Choi Suji. I found myself performing horrific self-pleasing acts while watching. Sometimes I wear a hooded sweatshirt and pull the hoodie over my head just to feel creepier. Caroline's face.
Why do you want to feel creepier? That's a red flag.
Man.
I'm sorry, but
Little Sister Paradise is the name of one of those. That's it's pretty rough. Punch my beaver.
Who would think that someone with such a name?
What do you guys think? Thumbs up or thumbs down for Punch My Beaver?
he
Caroline's,
doesn't seem that he's regretful.
there's no hope. There's no hope for Punch My Beaver.
I have a feeling that no, I don't want to assume their gender, but I have a feeling that punishing them is what they kind of desire. They might like it even more. They're like, oh yeah, punish me, Mitz. Punish me, Pope.
Oh my God!
Do it.
Yes,
Do
harder,
it. And,
harder.
exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, yes. Give it to me.
So-
Yes, no.
To give them what they desire.
You know,
Can we
I think
allow
the
such a
audience
thing?
wants the trap door. So there is no hope. Punch My Beaver for your screen name or your viewing habits. You should burn that sweatshirt along with yourself in the pits of hell. Goodbye.
Sayonara.
There we go.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
Are there community dinners after church?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you serve there?
Sea bass.
Popeyes.
Moe girls on a stick.
Sea bass.
All right. Maybe next week.
You like sea bass. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. If you want to submit
I
a
do
juicy
anything for free
confession,
food.
again, it's aaapodcast.com and go to the mailbag button on the top of the website. The chat is asking where they can get a chatbot of Megumin. I don't know. Sorry. Can't help you. I don't even know who Megumin is.
Ask Gurky.
Who is Megumin? If I type
From Konosuba, the the wizard who sets
Oh.
those massive explosions.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I like darkness better, but Megumin, she's a little too moe for me. I like darkness better. All right, now the inevitable game that Mason will win. Would you guys like to set odds for ourselves in this game?
No.
I feel
I'm
like we already know Mason's in first place. I might be able to pull through. There's no hope for Mitsugi.
Yeah, I'm like 8-1 odds probably, so it's not particularly good. I'm looking at
Do we
pictures
need
of
a piece
dark.
of paper for this?
I'm looking at pictures of darkness. I just love it. She's fucking hilarious. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna play anime Scattergories, and I'll explain this because Caroline is a self-proclaimed new Scattergory player. So this was suggested by Nuclear Burger on the Discord, so thank you very much for that. And Scattergories is a game, if you haven't played it, it's a real game that people have been playing forever. It's a pretty old game where someone picks a category of like a thing, like it could be like things that foods that are cold or something, and then you roll a dice and the dice has letters on it, and then it'll be like, oh, a P. So then you got to list in 1 minute as many foods as you can that start with the letter P. Basically, that's how this works. And by the way, I'm going to say right now, because we don't have a lot of time, we're going to let the Twitch audience pick a couple categories. If we like them, we'll use them. If we don't like them, well,
We'll pretend we didn't see them.
woe is me, I guess. So I have an Excel spreadsheet here, of course, that has random letter generator on it, and so we're going to use that to randomly generate the letters. I have removed the letters V, Z, and X because I don't know. You're never going to think of like a Pokemon that starts with the letter X. I don't know. There probably is one, but
Xerneas?
I'm gonna lose. I only know the first
Yeah,
generation
too.
Pokemon, so I'm pretty much fucked. But the
And I don't
categories,
do well under pressure, so I'm not going to be able to think of anything.
I'm not gonna give the categories away either. I'm gonna randomly generate those as well. So, because I just as I want it to be like more interesting. So, and so we're gonna generate the category, and then we're gonna generate the letter, and we're gonna give ourselves a minute to do it, but you're not gonna hear that because I'm gonna edit this out. But those of you on Twitch, well, deal with it.
You're going to have to live with minutes of silence. But while you're there, think of good categories so we can put in here. And if they're even good and you guys like this game, we can play it in the future. So
You do need a pencil,
welcome.
you need a pencil or a notepad on your computer or something. So that's something
Let's
to
be
type
honest, pencils are for cowards. If you don't use a pen
Wow.
constantly,
with. Caroline's
trust
holding
you.
a pencil, and she looked at you like, "Go fuck yourself."
Imagine being like, I like something that allows me to erase mistakes. No, we don't allow that in the real world.
Mason,
I'm just
you're
really-
a mistake.
I'm really
Oh my
soured
god!
by. You're not wrong. I'm just soured by
Wow.
the fact that the game I played was a painting game, had no Control Z, and boy, I really could have used it. So.
All right.
There are no
Okay.
mistakes, just happy accidents.
We will see if the Discord comes up with anything, or the Twitch comes up with anything good here, and we're gonna get started. So, I don't know. I don't have a. I guess I'll start the. Does anybody have the ability to keep a minute timer? I can use my
I
Fitbit.
mean-
Yeah,
I
I can
guess
do
I
it.
could.
I got my little watch.
All right, you can do it. All right,
Ooh.
so I'm gonna pick the letter and the category here, and then we'll go through our results and we'll see who scores the most points. So, this is a game where if someone else picks the same one, you don't get a point.
Correct.
So you can't. So if I pick one and Caroline picks one, we cancel out. So
If they're the same one, yeah.
all right.
So you want, Caroline, you want your answers to be as unique as possible. You want to
Yeah.
answer
I'm
things
gonna try my best to think of an answer. Like I'm
Oh wow.
I'm just trying
Confident.
to filter through all the names of anime and characters, and I'm coming up with nothing.
All right,
a
we'll just-
minute is not long.
Do I even
so-
watch anime? What's an anime? I'm not entirely sure.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
This first one's pretty easy. It's the category is anime since this podcast began, which is 2009.
So any anime
Ooh.
that came out since 2009?
Yeah, it can be anything. Okay?
Okay.
And the letter is P, as in Peter. So we're gonna give ourselves 1 minute here. Mitsugi's gonna be very bad at this. Mason's gonna say go, and then we're gonna see how many we can come up with. And I'm not gonna use a list or anything. This is no references. All right.
3,
Okay.
2, 1, go.
I'm gonna say if there's a sequel, if you put both of them, you don't get 2 points. Just so
Yeah, it's one collective. Yeah, dang. "20 seconds left."
I'm fucking terrible at this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
Wow, I got 3 of them. It's not
Me
good.
too.
So
All
it's
right.
not just ones that the podcast reviewed. It's anything that came out.
That's what I that's
Gotcha.
what I came to. All right, we'll
Mhm.
let Caroline. I'm gonna keep score over here. We'll let Caroline go first. And if anybody has the same answer, just cross them down. So, Caroline, what
Okay.
did you come up with? Anime that started since 2009 with a P. There should be like 100 of them.
I
But-
know, but I can only think of 3. Pretty Boy Detective Club.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like, what is
I
that?
didn't get that.
Me neither.
Okay, cool. Pop Team Epic.
Oh, Pop Team Epic. Mason's like,
I didn't have that one.
Mason's like, I should have had that.
Okay. And Princess Principal.
Oh, fuck. Oh, you get 2 points for that. If it's an alliteration, you get 2 points.
What? That's a
Yeah,
rule?
that's a word. That's a rule in Scattergories.
Oh, there we go.
Cool.
Yeah, I had none of those. I was
Mm-hmm.
just checking a list really quick to see when one of mine came out, and it was actually before the podcast, so no points for that.
Which one?
I had Paprika down, but that was a couple years early.
I kept thinking Planet Test, but that's like 2005 or something.
Yeah, that's early.
All right, Mason, how about you?
So
What'd you?
Caroline got what, 4 points?
Yeah, if you have an alliteration, like it's like a double P word, then in Scattergories you do get double points for that.
That's a
Oh,
weird
someone
rule,
on
but okay,
Twitch
I'll
had
take
a
it.
great one. I should have thought of that shit. God damn it. All right, Mason, what do you got?
Was
15?
Peter Grill, right?
Yeah,
It
Peter
was
Grill.
Peter Grill.
Yeah.
I had. So at first I went down like my mental list of like ones that we've reviewed, and the only one I could think of was Pet.
Pet. Oh my god.
So that's one.
I erased that from my memory.
I had Paprika, but that's too early, so that doesn't count.
Yep.
Poi Poi Molcar.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know what that is.
It's the adorable like stop motion thing that came out a little while ago. It's like the best thing from a couple seasons ago. Persona 5, the animation,
Oh.
and Panty Stocking.
Okay, so you got 4 points also.
Unless Poi Poi, because it's 2 P's. I don't know if that counts
Is it
as
2 words
alliteration.
or 1 word?
It's 3 words. Poi Poi Molcar. So I don't think that counts.
I don't think it does either. I have one just like
I don't
that.
think it should count. So
I don't think it does,
have-
and I have one like that, and I'm not going to give myself double
So
points.
I have 5 points? No, 4 points.
4 points. Wow, I'm surprised none of mine got picked because they're really obvious ones. I thought for sure they'd get bounced out of here. Parasite, Psychopaths, and Place Promise in our early days. So that's all I could come up with.
Ooh. I'm gonna double check the.
That definitely came out. I think we even reviewed it.
No, the Place Promise in our early days is 2004.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
wait, isn't there a? Am I thinking of a? Oh,
You're
no
thinking
one picked.
Place Further Than the Universe.
Yes,
The
that's what I'm
universe.
thinking. Son
Yeah.
of a
That
bitch.
starts with an A anyway, I think.
Oh my.
I guess if it's a place, we could allow that.
Man. Okay. You're right.
I mean, if that's the one like you intended, no. Let's give you the point for it. You knew what you were thinking.
No, I
of.
don't
You
think
just wanted
so. I don't think
Well,
because you got to write it on paper, man. It's
what were
it's
you thinking in
what's
your
written on
head when
paper
you
that
wrote
matters.
down? Were you thinking of the Antarctica one?
Yeah.
With the penguins? Okay, then we should count it.
What do you think, Caroline?
Yeah, so going forward, are we going to say yes, we can use a and the at the beginning of something?
Since this is titles, maybe, I guess so.
Yeah, let's go with that.
The first non-article word can count. Okay, well, that's generous of you, but I'll give myself the point. There was another one that was really obvious that I just thought of, and then it left my mind just as fast, so.
Gizmo and Twitch chat mentioned Promise Neverland.
Promise Neverland. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, right?
Because we eradicated that from our minds.
Yeah, no shit.
No longer exists.
All right.
It's dead to me.
All right, so Caroline and Mason have 4. I have 3. I'm just gonna fall further and further behind here.
And if we're continuing with titles, if it starts with that letter in the Japanese title and not the English title, or vice versa, that would work too.
I'm counting
as
it either way.
We put down the right one.
Either way is fine.
Okay.
All right. I haven't seen any good categories yet from the Twitch, so I'm just going to assume they have no good ideas. The next one is, this is going to be fucking hard. I'm not going to get any points here. Animal companions. You can thank Caroline for this one. And the letter is a G. So yeah, you have to come up with a... It's fucking impossible. Anime companions starting with a G. And I will... start now, I guess. Good luck with that.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good Lord.
No, that's not one of them.
Good Lord is not an answer.
God.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be used. Oh, man. I need background music. That's true. Let me put some background music in. I'm not gonna come up with anything anyway. So.
Apologies for the people on YouTube. They're gonna be suffering the worst because they won't even have the live chat to distract them.
Yeah, this is not a great. I'll edit it though.
15 seconds. Yeah, but it won't be edited on YouTube. They get it raw. Oh no, that's even worse.
Yeah, that makes it so much worse.
3, 2, 1, time.
Wow, if anybody even got one real answer, I'll be shocked. Caroline?
I have Gigi.
That's a J.
No, it's not. In Kiki's delivery service?
Yeah, it's a J.
It's a J.
What?
It's a J.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Where?
I have one because it's a very loose definition of animal companion.
Okay, let's hear it.
It is actually 2, but I didn't think of it. Godzilla.
No.
Godzilla's not an animal companion.
He is
He's not
a creature.
companion.
He is a companion. He is a team
no.
member.
Who's he companioning with?
What do you think,
All
Caroline?
the humans that work with him.
Yes
it
or no,
depends
Caroline?
on the iteration. There's multiple versions of Godzilla where
We're
he's
gonna
best
judge.
friend.
We're gonna judge each other here. What do you think, Caroline?
Okay,
Yes or no?
that's fine.
I say no.
I say no also.
It's like, oh, it doesn't have a J. Okay.
What else you got, Mason?
No, that was it. The other one I
Yeah.
just thought of after the fact was Ghidorah. 'Cause it's
Ghidorah.
similar.
I was trying to think of the people in Beastars because technically they are companions with each other and they are animals. But I could not think of anybody's name that starts with G.
I came up with the name Grimalkin, but I don't know where that came from.
We need to
I don't think-
fact check this. How do you spell that?
I think a Grimalkin is like the name of a creature, and it's not really a.
All right, well, we need to look it up.
Oh, Grimalkin. Grimalkin, a cat, in reference to its characteristic feline qualities. But
So it's a,
I don't
That's
know.
an
If I type
adjective?
anime Grimalkin, I don't get anything. So, all right.
So
Well,
I
that was
guess
a big
this
waste
was
of
a
time.
wash.
Big waste of time. All right. Next up, I'm gonna pull the next category here. Female characters,
okay, this will be easier.
and the letter is an E, as in Eric.
E. Ugh.
So
Okay.
not the easiest letter. Let us know when we're starting, Mason.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Wow, very loud. Sorry.
Extra bassy.
Yeah, very.
Brrr.
Oh, this is tough. This is
Yep,
actually tougher
very
than I was
tough.
hoping. Over halfway there. Ten seconds. Time.
Jesus. This is really difficult. Extremely
Yeah,
I love
it
how in
really
the
is.
original directions it says we must name 12 things. We are doing well if we name 3.
Well, normally it's like brands of car, or like
Yeah,
food.
it's not so obscure.
You know, and you're trying to think of foods that start with the letter P, and there's like a billion of them. Oh my God! All right,
I got 4.
All right,
I
let's
have
hear them.
2.
I'm sure we all got this one. Emilico from Shadow's
Yeah.
House.
I got that
I
one.
didn't get it.
Well, you don't even know how to
That's good.
spell it. You spelled it literally
Hey.
8 different times in our Discord
Okay,
in different
okay,
occasions.
okay.
I just thought that was hilarious. Like you never knew how to
It's
write.
funny. It's
I
on
still
brand.
don't know.
He doesn't even know how to read, so it makes sense he doesn't know how
It's
to
true.
spell.
What the fuck? I can't read.
Next one is Amelia from ReZero.
I did not get that one.
Next one is Estheth from Agami Ga Kill.
Nope.
And the last one is Aaron from Beast Player Aaron.
Nope.
I also had Lisa on my list, and then I was like,
Lisa.
nope. I was
not
trying to think
start
of
with
JoJo characters, and I'm like, no, I'm not thinking of anything, but I felt compelled to write it down. So yeah, I got 3 points.
Wow.
I have Emma
Okay.
from The Promised Neverland.
Emma. How many
Ooh,
points is that,
she's
Mason?
adapting. Oh, I got 3, so I'm at a total of 7.
Yeah, that's right.
But Karen is smart. She's
Emma, that's
taking
good.
the suggestions from the chat from Promised Neverland and incorporating it. That's smart. I should
Wow.
No,
do
it's
that.
just what I thought. I don't give credit to the chat. This was all me, 100%.
It's not like you were looking at the chat and they wrote it. Like you took the influence and incorporated it. Okay, so that's
I guess so. That's
Yeah.
1 point for me this round.
Yep. Is that it?
Mitz, you got anything, Mitz?
I only had one, and I don't even know how I came up with it, but it's Ennis from Bacano. It was like 100 years ago.
Is
So-
she the like bomb person?
I honestly don't know. I just know that there was an Ennis in Bacano. In fact, I'm not even sure if it was a girl. I better look that up. Yeah,
Double
Ennis is the
check.
main. She's the main character. One of the main. She's the
Oh.
homunculus girl with the red
Damn
short,
it, we
with the
forgot,
short brown
we
hair.
forgot the best e-girl ever, which is actually not an e-girl. That's not what they're called. Ebisu from Dora Hedoro.
Oh, damn.
That was a good one.
I only just thought of Elizabeth, which I can't think of a specific anime, but I know there's quite a few Elizabeths.
Yeah, you
in
probably
anime.
could have just rolled out a bunch of generic
Yeah.
e-names and like, oh yeah, they're there somewhere. I don't know where they're from, but they exist. You have to believe me.
The Twitch had some good ones. All right, so right now, Carolina has 5, I have 4, Mason has 7. So this is going pretty much as expected, I would say so far.
Yeah.
All right, we'll
Pretty on brand.
We'll do a few more of these here. Male characters is the next one, starting with the letter M, as in Mason.
Ooh, yeah.
So this one should be potentially doable. Okay, male character starting with an M. Start the timer, Mason.
In 3, 2, 1, go. I forgot I didn't reset it from last time. Ooh, my first one probably doesn't even count, but I'm writing it down because I don't know. I just feel like it.
I literally cannot think of a single one.
I I just don't know like names like that, you know? It's not how I do. It's not how I be. Um 5 seconds. And time.
That was harder than I thought it was gonna be.
It was
Yeah,
harder.
you really jinxed it there.
Yep. All right,
Like, oh,
Caroline.
it's gonna be baby mode.
Okay. I got Mitsugi from Boruto. And I
Boruto?
have Masumoto from Vivi Starlight.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Fluoride. I am gonna say Starlight. Fluoride Eye song. That's it. Yeah.
I thought I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
get
didn't have either.
Boy, the minute goes by quick. I thought I was
It
gonna
really
get like,
does.
I thought I was gonna get
know.
like 10 of these, and I got shit. Mason.
I got 3.
Okay.
One was Moritaka from Barakamon. One was Masaru from Hajime no Ippo.
Mhm.
And one was Master Roshi from Dragon Ball, which I don't think counts.
Caroline, Master Roshi, yes or no?
Master isn't his name though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I said it. It doesn't hurt to throw it
right.
out there.
All right,
I
we'll
think
give
I
Mason
think it's
2.
just 2 points.
God, I feel like I should have had more of these. Makoto Shishio, who's from Rurouni Kenshin, he's the villain. Mac, who was from the fucking boxing show we just watched, whatever that thing was called.
Megalobox.
Megalobox, yeah. And the third one I need to have judgment on. So I came with Makino Uchi Ippo from Ippo. Makino Uchi's his last name, but
I like how we both went with an Ippo character.
gonna need thumbs up or thumbs down for Makino Uchi Ippo.
That counts.
Yeah.
All right, that's 3 then. All right, so the score right now, Mason has 9, and Mitsugi and Caroline are tied at 7. And we might have
Oh,
time
gosh.
for a couple more of these because I'm going to cut this topic down big time for people listening over the phone or whatever. All right. The next one, which is where Mason's going to blow us all away, is Pokemon names, starting with the letter B as in boy. Mason's like, I know 800 Pokemon, and I know like 12. So,
Yeah,
start
ready?
the timer. Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Halfway there. Boy. Coming to a standstill.
Yeah, it's tough.
And time.
Wow. All right. This is the hardest game of
2, 3, 4,
Scattergories
5,
that's ever
6,
ever
7,
happened.
8.
This is so
I
hard.
got 9. I got 9.
9?
What? No.
Oh my God, we're playing for second now. Caroline, I knew that was gonna happen. Mason's like, I know all the Pokemon. I know.
But I'm sure you guys got some of the ones that I have.
Yeah, probably.
I doubt it.
Caroline, what do you got?
I got Bulbasaur.
I have that.
Yeah, I got Bulbasaur.
And I got Blaziken.
I had Blaziken.
I knew it.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, 0 points for Caroline. All right, Mason. Go. I have one left I have one left on the board still. Let's see if Mason eliminates it.
Bellsprout?
Nope, that's not what I
Blossom?
had. But you say Blossom?
Yeah, isn't Blossom one?
I think.
Blossom.
Yeah.
All right.
Bravery. It's like a bird.
I'm taking your word for it. I don't even know.
Like a bird.
Like a bird.
Is my really obvious one that's left gonna stay?
Beldum. Blastoise.
Blastoise. Oh my god. Oh, and
Bouffalant.
what the hell is that? Kiryu Christian's got a great one. Beedrill. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I know.
Good
How
one.
did I not think of Beedrill or Butterfree for that matter?
Because Beedrill is like, no one likes that Pokemon.
And Boltund.
I don't know any of these, but all right. All right, and I had Butterfree. So
I didn't get that one.
so
1, 2,
right
3,
now,
4.
Mason is, of course, winning as expected with 16. Mitsugi is
Yep.
8. Caroline has 9. All right. I think we got time
I
for
thought I
maybe...
had 7.
Oh, yeah, you have 7. My bad. 7, 8, and 16 right now. All right. Let's see if I can get... all right. I'm going to... There we go. All right. So the last category is overpowered characters. And I'm going to define this because we need to. And I think it's going to be defined as anybody that has any kind of like either mental or physical strength that is like just beyond the average person. Because otherwise we're going to be like arguing about like what overpowered means. So that could be anything from like, you know,
Like any super powered character.
any character that has any kind of mental or physical strength that would not exist in real life. So like Ippo
Okay.
who's boxing, that doesn't count. That is theoretically possible. So
It's funny because like the most overpowered like character like trope, which is Kirito, like I would argue doesn't have a superpower. But okay, we got it.
all right, start the timer, Mason.
What's the letter?
Letter is R as in Robert.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ronald
I'm
McDonald.
I'm cheating off the bat, but
You don't need to cheat. You're already winning.
that's true. I don't know if I can think of any. And seconds.
Jeez Louise. This is the worst game of Scattergories ever.
I kind of knew it was coming. And time.
All right. Caroline, did you come up with anything?
I came up with 2.
Wow.
What they could both be. I don't know if they could be argued. I'm still not entirely sure where the line is being drawn in terms of these characters because they're kind of like a magical ability type.
Okay, what do you got?
So I got Ritsu from Mob Psycho.
I don't even remember who that is. Mason, what do you
He's
think?
Mob's brother.
Oh, I got psychic powers. That counts.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have Rem from ReZero.
Yep. All right. how about
Yeah,
you?
I'd count both of those.
So would I. How about you, Mason?
Okay.
So I had 2, and I think they're both a stretch.
Okay.
So the letter was R, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But as we all know, no, there is no L in
Oh, here we go.
Japanese alphabet. So I had Levi from Attack on Titan.
Who's
Levi.
Levi, right? Levi? What
No.
character
Well,
is that?
It's Revi.
I say
Levi.
no to that one.
Yeah, because it was a stretch. And the other one was Luffy from
One Piece.
One Piece. But then I realized they still spell his name with the English L, so it's not like Roofy. So
Yeah, I think that one's out also.
yeah, so
No
0
matter
points.
what, you've won. So
Yeah. And
I mean, yeah.
and I just took one because we said it earlier, Roshi.
Ooh,
Pretty easy.
nice. Once again,
That's all I had.
taking from the past and bringing it forward.
Mason wins with 16 points. Caroline and Mitsugi both sucking equally with 9.
Across the
As
finish
expected.
line.
We all saw this
falling
coming.
down.
We all saw this coming. Woe is me. The other categories that never got used were characters with glasses, which we were never going to think of any, and
Yeah.
isekai anime, which maybe someone could have gotten one, but I doubt it. So
I'm sure there was like a ton of people listening that were just screaming at the top of their lungs
Yep.
all the answers that we did not get because we are just that
yeah, we're not good.
Not
We're terrible.
right.
And I hope that this topic ended up being decent, given that there was a lot of dead air, but I will try to fix it up so that it
Well,
doesn't
I
take
suppose
so
if
much time.
anything, we can just blame Nuclear Burger. It was his idea.
Nuclear Burger, thank you for submitting the topic. I appreciate you. I'm blaming the Twitch for not coming up with any suggestions that were good, even though people are talking.
I mean, we would have disappointed them just as much.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's about it, So, but don't be discouraged from submitting topic requests because we do use them, as you can clearly see. And I think we have one next week.
Rimuru. We never got Rimuru.
All right, fuck him.
Bearded Bunny got that. That was a good one.
Yeah.
So, stupid slime anime. All right.
So like Roofy. I think that should count.
All right, Caroline, get us out of here.
Okay, in Shadow's house, what animal was the trigger in the garden? I think it was like a puzzle. It was the garden puzzle. And that's it. What is it? Just
What
let
kind
us
of
know.
animal?
We'll be back after the news break.
Hey, Anime Addicts, this is Mitsugi, and I'm bringing you your anime news break, so get excited. Starting off with a anime sequel announcement, a rather large one. Karakai Jozu no Takagi-san, or Teasing Master Takagi-san, is getting a 3rd season and an anime film. The 3rd season is going to be airing in January of 2022, making an anime from the winter 2022 season. And the film is scheduled for a 2022 premiere as well. The director is the same as the original Karakai Jozu no Takagi-san, Hiroaki Akagi, working on the movie. The studio is Shin-A Animation, and it looks like Takagi-san adapts Soichiro Yamamoto's romantic comedy manga, which originally launched back in July of 2012. It's got 9 million copies in print. If you're a fan of Takagi-san, look out for the 3rd season and movie, both coming out in 2022. Next up, some sad but interesting news. Yoshiyuki Tomino, who is basically the father of Gundam, says that he has around 3 years left working in anime. The man is already 79 years old, but he says that he has been suffering from health complications and anticipates that 3 years is about the amount of time that he has left working in the anime industry at the studio, he says. He explains that he has spinal canal stenosis, which is a narrowing of the spaces within the spinal column, causing pressure on the nerves, and you hear about the pain going down the legs and whatnot. And he says that he's seen videos of himself walking around the studio, and he looks like a sick person. That's a quote from him. So Tomino will hopefully wish the best for his health, and hoping that he can continue to work and make great anime for years to come. Next up, Moriarty no Yukoku, or Moriarty the Patriot, the anime. It has 2 seasons out now, both coming out this past year, I think. It's going to be getting an OVA that's going to tack on to the story, but it's going to have an original story that's not depicted in the manga. So there's also going to be a special event for the anime series. It's going to be held in Nakano-Sun Plaza in Tokyo on March 5th, 2022, where that OVA is going to have an advanced screening. So it'd probably be pretty tough to get a ticket to that. But if you are a fan of Moriarty the Patriot, they just keep making more content for it, including a new OVA coming out. And rounding out, some news from the New York Times monthly graphic books and manga bookseller list in early September, which just recently came out. The 11th volume of Jujutsu Kaisen, the 23rd volume of Demon Slayer, and the 6th volume of Chainsaw Man all made the top of the list. coming in at number 2, number 3, and number 4, respectively. They don't really say what came in at number 1 here on this list, but I'm going to click this link here in real time. We're going to find out, Mothering Heights, the 10th book in the Dogman series. Can the power of love overcome the darkness and despair created by new villains? Okay, well, didn't see that coming. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, time to get back to the podcast. Hey, Anime Addicts, this podcast is ad-free. And if you want to keep it that way, you can go to aaapodcast.com/join or patreon.com/aaapodcast. You're going to be getting 8 exclusive podcast episodes per month, our hentai episodes, our after parties, and our Hobby Addicts episodes. And today you'll get to hear a story where I was confronted by a naked Santa Claus in a bathhouse. What? Of course, this is all very ironic since this is also an ad, and I just said that we wouldn't play any ads. Just support the podcast. Mitsugi needs more monster energy over at aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon. But seriously, there's no ads. Just this one. Maybe.
Hi there, my name is Spike Spencer. I'm the voice of Shinji Ikari and many other crazy bastards. And I am an anime addict.
ザ・アニメアディクツアノニマスポッドキャストプレゼンツカズオ VS ザ・キャットバス
Who do you got for number 1?
I have the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. Shichikokoyama Hospital.
Okay.
That's where the cat bus goes.
Yeah, but like, what are the cat bus's combat abilities?
It has the most powerful headlights in history on its eyeballs. It could blind you drastically with its eyeballs.
That's the
It can
worst.
it can run on telephone wires. You know how nimble that is? That agility.
All right,
Such
you know
agility,
what?
such grace. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Does the cat bus not have about 10 legs?
Does it have 10 legs? Yes, true.
Do cats have claws?
Yeah.
How many claws does a cat have on every paw?
Oh, I don't know, like
It's 5.
5? Okay.
That is 50 razor sharp blades coming
But
at you.
look at it.
It's like a bowling ball covered in butcher knives. It's coming at your
First-
ass. Yeah, that cat bus is terrifying. And that son of a bitch is coming at you.
It does look terrifying.
It's literally screaming all the time. It would take you to the Shichikokoyama Hospital after it beats your ass.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
it
beat your
would.
ass and take you to the hospital.
Yeah.
And now back to the podcast.
I could be on the show another 7 years and never top that clip. That's such a golden moment.
A lot of great points were made that day.
It was so fire.
All right, guys. In Shadow's house, what animal was the trigger in the garden? Emilio Co, or whatever the hell her stupid name is, sits in the chair.
Emilico. It's
It's
not
the worst
that
name
hard.
ever. It's the worst name that's ever been conceived.
Okay, tell that to Kate. She named her.
I will. I will tell it to her. It was a rabbit. She's like, oh, look, that looks like a rabbit. I think it was a rabbit.
It was a rabbit.
Okay.
We didn't even fact check this.
No fact
Oh,
checking
I don't
was
know.
done.
What did you think it was, Caroline?
It was a rabbit, but you guys weren't sure.
Yeah, I think Mason trusted my word through text or whatever, and that was a risky move.
Originally,
just to trust
okay.
me.
Inside baseball, I love talking about it. Originally on our note sheet, we had rabbit with a question mark afterwards because I kind of trusted Mitz. And then as soon as Caroline read the trivia question, Captain Avatar in the chat was like, oh, it's a rabbit. I'm like, oh, I trust him a whole lot more. So then I removed the question mark. And I was like, okay, yeah, we
And
got it right.
points to Captain.
And remember, for those of you that support our podcast, and we love you if you do, because it's, believe it or not cheap having a website that does things other than just having pictures on it. You will get, in addition to our Hobby Addicts and our hentai episodes and our after party episodes, which is 8 podcasts a month that no one else gets, you also get our exclusive RSS feed, so you can listen to the episodes on pretty much any of the popular podcast apps, like Apple Podcasts or Pocket Casts or whatever you use. So you'll be able to access all of that content the same way you would access our normal episodes. So just as an extra little bonus to make your listening experience easier. And again, if you want to help out the podcast, it's aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon. So we do depend on you, and I love you. Okay, so Mason just watches movies all the time. He's a movie master. And it's
I'm
time
sorry.
for Unexplored Pictures with Mason.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Unexplored Pictures with Mason.
God tier drop. That's half the reason why I do this segment, is just to hear that.
Hear the drop?
Exactly. So this week we have a double wheel, double bike feature for you.
I love it.
Featuring
Double
two
whammy.
works by Studio Madhouse, and both of them I recommend, especially kind of to Mitz, so pay attention.
Oh, wow.
So I had watched like Shadow's House, the show we're going to review, like when it was airing. So I had a lot of free time on my on my plate this week. So I originally watched a retro movie that I will save for later because I'll talk about it. But I eventually decided to watch a 44-minute movie called Bobby's in Deep, or Bobby's Girl, or Bobby ni Kubitakai. It's from 1985, and it is a short piece that tells like a meditative journey of Bobby, this kind of carefree youth in high school who is just enamored with his motorcycle. Like, he loves living life on his own pace, on his own speed, and he's really not a big fan of going to school, following the plans that society and his parents laid out for him. So when a mysterious photograph of him in a motorcycling magazine kind of leads him to being contacted by a pen pal, it kind of leads to a budding relationship where this girl kind of reaches out to him and expresses interest and intrigue into his way of life. And at the same time, he kind of, leaves school to pursue his own interests, his own freedom. He works at the shop of a local motorcycle legend. And this is a very like methodical slice of life show, but not in a way that's like anything else of that genre. Like, it's kind of a bit of art house, a bit of a music video, a bit of like glorious animation sequences of him riding his motorcycle. He's often portrayed in like shadows. It's very dark, but like it's very introspective in a way, and it's very riveting. Think of like Ocean's Waves plus Cypher. And this movie is certainly not for everyone, but for those who are willing to go down this road, it's definitely a vibe and a half. So it's kind of cool.
Is it all in black and white?
No, so that's just the clip, the little GIF I have in our show notes. But it's a very simply drawn thing, but it is in color, but it is in black and white in these like cool motorcycle sequences. So it's worth watching just for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay,
Looks pretty good.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed it, and I was like, you know what, 45 minutes? That's really not enough to satiate you guys. So I was browsing the favorites list of a Discord member named WaviF, who I pronounce his name incorrectly and differently every single time, just like Mitsugi and Emilico. And I stumbled upon another short movie, and this one takes place on bicycles rather than motorcycles. And this is 47 minutes long. It's called Nasu, Summer, and then in Andalusia. It's from 2003, and this is an absolutely gorgeous jaunt. If you like cycling, this is a must-watch. If you like the eggplant emoji, this is definitely a must-watch. If you like Porco Rosso...
Like your pee-pee?
No, just the eggplants.
I mean, the eggplant is basically used for penis, basically.
Yeah, but there's lots of eggplants in this movie.
Okay.
I'll let you determine if I'm meaning symbolically or actual eggplants. But yeah, if you love Porco Rosso, you absolutely must watch this movie. It tells the simple story of Pepe, this domestique cyclist, taking place in the Vuelta a España, or like the Spanish version of the Tour de France. And essentially the stage they are riding through is like this barren desert that is his hometown. And he doesn't have like the fondest memories of growing up here. He kind of became a cyclist to escape this area. And kind of through this bicycling stage, we learn about his history and kind of the people that he grew up with. And it's pretty much 35 minutes of just straight bike riding. And it's so good. It's so good. Like, even ignoring the lush and fiery acoustic soundscape, or like the impactful character vignettes, or like the intense biking strategy, this movie would be recommended just for the visuals. Because if you want that Ghibli aesthetic, this is it. Like, so this is like the first Japanese film ever to be selected for the Cannes Film Festival. It was directed by the legendary key animator Kitaro Kosaka, who did essentially every good-looking movie ever. He had a hand in it. Like, I guarantee if you name a movie from like the 80s or 90s, Ghibli, Madhouse, whatever it is, like he was part of it, and this movie is amazing. Like Miyazaki himself is the one who advised this director Kosaka to like check out the source material, so you know it's good. So watch Summer in Andalusia just for the visuals and the really good story that goes with it. Two good movies, two good watches. They were really dope. Check them out.
All right. And did you say where you can watch those?
There. That's the website you can find them.
Wow,
There.
Wow. All right. Well, I have to check it. I'm especially interested in the second one, not in the Summer of Andalusia. Sounds pretty neat.
It's cool.
All right.
Whenever
well,
you guys say
Mason.
Andalusia, I think of an Andalusian dog or something like that. It's really creepy and just crazy movie that they made me watch in like a movie class back in college, and it's
interesting.
How do you spell Andalusia again? I'm not really sure. I'm just kidding, Mason.
Alusia. Well, just for our listeners who, I butcher saying words constantly, so it probably doesn't hurt.
All right, now it's time for mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. All right. Again, if you want to leave a mailbag, the website's aaapodcast.com. You click that mailbag button, you leave your confessions, and you leave your mailbags as well. So head over there, as Key to You Christian did. I hope everyone is well. My question comes from the perspective of enjoying written, live action, and anime titles. I feel like over time I've experienced stories where the character you think or feel is the main character dies before the middle of the story, and the reader's perspective shifts to a different character, coming from the point of view that this can be an effective choice or device used in storytelling for books, movies, or whatever. I can't think of many examples in anime where this occurs. What are your thoughts? Can you name an anime title that does this? I couldn't really think of anything other than what Mason listed. So, I mean, I don't really think it's that common for characters to die in anime in general, and then for them to be like the main character, it's really uncommon. So, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I had a hard time thinking of anything. I just remembered when I was watching Attack on Titan. I don't think this is really a spoiler considering it happened in the first season, the first half of that season. But yeah, they gave us the feeling that that was going to happen, and it was that way for at least an episode or two. So I don't know if that counts, but it temporarily counted.
Yeah, so I made a quick list because I was the one who pulled this question, so I had time to beat everyone else to the punch. But in the effort of trying to maintain spoilers, you can check the answers in the show notes, but I listed clues to the shows that I'm talking about. So if you've seen these shows, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, I'm not spoiling the twist that someone important dies. So, in some sort of order, we have a proper English gentleman can't get over the burning dog smell, a galactic drill-powered mecha show where they fight the universe, a pink-haired maiden in a death game without a special talent, and Nordic pouting blonde boys and a tall tree-wielding lad. Those are all shows where someone who you could consider to be the main character dies.
Wow. Well, I guess that's something to think about.
Yeah. I don't really... I don't... Like, I feel like inherently answering this question with show XYZ, the main character dies, like, that ruins the twist for everyone.
It's difficult to put anything in these episodes that have to do with the deaths of anime characters, because we would just get so much flack
Especially like
for
a main character.
spoiling things. And we don't, especially the main character. And that really doesn't happen all that often. So when it does happen, people want to go in not spoiled.
Yeah.
I will say that the galactic drill-powered mecha show is the most obvious one.
That is like...
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't think of that one.
It's like the staple. And I see Christians in chat.
Yeah.
But if you really want to know, I can send you them directly, my guy.
All right. Well, thanks for your mailbag. So, Oh boy, here we go. Another review. Caroline?
Yep. We are reviewing Shadow's House. This was from spring of 2021. You can watch it on Funimation, and I passed it in episode 576. So here's the synopsis of the show. It's about the family called the Shadows. They are characterized by their pitch black appearance and the tendency to emit soot when agitated. And they are a family of nobles who reside in a massive manor deep within the mountains far from other humans. So when a shadow child is nearly of age, they are assigned a living doll who acts not only as their attendant, but also as their second half. They are the faces they could have had if not for their pitch black complexion. So basically, their silhouettes are exactly the same, but one is completely black and the other one is, as you would assume a regular human would look like. So our main character, Emilico, she is very cheerful. She's a newly created doll who serves a shadow master named Kate. And despite the difference in their personalities, Emilico does what she can to carry out the needs of her master. And eventually, they are brought to their debut, which is kind of their final test as shadows and their master and their living dolls. And that's pretty much what this anime is all about. And the secrets amongst the shadows may be revealed. Ha 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 ha. And yeah, so it's by Cloverworks. Came out of a manga. I've never heard of this manga before it was brought up for the season. And when I saw the trailer, I'm like, wow, this looks really interesting. A lot of people were saying great things about it too. A lot of comparisons between this and The Promised Neverland, especially since around that time, a lot of people were pissed at season 2 of The Promised Neverland. So I remember people saying like, oh, this is what The Promised Neverland should be, or something like that. So I was excited for it. I think it was near the top of my list. And when I watched the first few episodes, it seemed pretty promising. There were a couple of concerns already from the start. For example, Emilico is she's annoying as heck.
Yep.
It's like one of the most annoying characters I've ever heard, to be honest. But I thought it had a very interesting premise, interesting setting. And so I was excited to watch this and give our review of it. So that was my expectations. What about you, Mason?
Yeah, so like you, I was not aware of the manga before this was announced. After it did now get revealed, I did look at the manga, and it's very interesting because the manga not only looks good, but it is in full color. Not just the opening page or select pages, but the entire thing, which is quite rare when it comes to manga. So definitely kind of enthusiastic about that. And like you said, despite where Cloverworks might stumble along the way, I am genuinely interested in what that studio is doing. I like the look of their shows. I like the feel of them. So I was interested to see what they would bring to the table.
Mitsugi?
I knew nothing about this, as usual, at all. I didn't even know what the studio was. I didn't look into anything. Totally blind. So, not much more to say.
All right, so spoiler-free recommendations. I already know what direction Mitsugi is going to be in. So I would say I definitely recommend the show. I really enjoyed it. I know that Miliko is not the greatest main character, but when she's not being annoying, she's decent. Kate is okay as her counterpart, considering she's pretty much the exact opposite of Emilico. And to be honest, I do find the setting to be really interesting and cool. The characters look really good. The stark comparisons between the shadows and the living dolls, it's just very strange and kind of out there, but it really, I think it's really great. And overall, I really enjoyed it. This is probably one of the only shows that I actually binge watched and got through early for this podcast. So yeah, definitely recommend it.
I am pretty mixed on this show. I think, yes, I would recommend it in the sense that it has an interesting setting. It's got a vibe and a mystery that is really refreshing. And I was very excited to see where it would go from that onset. No, I wouldn't recommend it because I did feel like it squandered a lot of that potential with the aforementioned weaker characters and the fact that they kind of had to tweak the story from the manga to fit it into the confines of an anime season, I think suffered it a bit. Yes, I would recommend it because Cloverworks is a good studio and it continues to deliver shows that are at least memorable to some degree. Like, if you like Cloverworks, give it a chance. And I would say at least it's not just like another isekai mashed potatoes and oatmeal, like just bland show that's going to go by the wayside. I think if someone a decade from now says, remember Shadow's House? Despite my opinions on it, I will be like, yeah, like it was very much its own thing, and I respect that. No, I wouldn't recommend it because at the end of the day, I just don't think I enjoyed it that much. The season ends with you still having a lot of unanswered questions, and if anything, I just think that the manga is the better way to consume this story. So, yes, recommend the manga, and maybe lightly recommend the anime. Give it a shot and see what you think. But I definitely am not gonna be the biggest fan when it comes to scoring this thing.
I don't think I'd recommend it either. As Caroline said, whatever the hell her name is, Amelia Coe or whatever. She, man,
I give up. Call her whatever you like.
her name is dumb to begin with. I mean, like
It is dumb, but
everything about her's
that's her name.
terrible. You know, she's ditzy. She, as I said before, she like I talk like this, like like that. That's how she
It's your
talks. Though
watching the dub.
the dub is horrible. Listen. I don't have time. Honestly, I don't have time to watch anything if it's not dubbed these days. So, you know, I'm like barely getting it in. But yeah, I watched the dub and it's fucking terrible, like really bad. I watched the last episode subtitled because apparently it's not done or whatever. I don't know. Funimation just like randomly decides when they want to quit dubbing shit. So, you know, I don't really know how they make that decision, but I don't know. Like the show, I thought the ending was the best part, but ultimately, like for about 90% of the show, I was wondering what is the point of this? Like I didn't really understand the point. You know, the middle arc was really long and soaked up about half the runtime, and it accomplished nothing. I don't really know what that was about. And I don't know. It's just like this is one of those shows where I really had a hard time watching it because I kept falling asleep because it's so slow. Like it took forever to get through the first 3 episodes. I fell asleep like at least 6 times. Like every night I tried to watch it, I was just out like instantly. So that might be me or not, but I don't know. I found the pacing to be pretty slow. I had no clue what was going on. It's very one note. Like, you know, it's just like walking around the mansion, you know, like wondering why I'm supposed to care, and and then like and then they got around to it like as anime does. Like episode 11, they were like finally revealed like some of the plot points, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it just ended. Then it ends, and they don't really answer any of like the 14 questions you have, and then I assume season 2 will come out like, you know, next year sometime. So, is it the worst show I've ever seen? No, not really. I mean, I give it props for having some originality. I mean, it's not the same thing as every other anime you see. But ultimately, I was left with a sense of, like, what's the point? And the characters are not good. They're very shallow. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. But I wasn't, like, offended watching it.
You're a very mixed bag of opinions. I'm a yes, Mason's a maybe, Mitsugi's a no.
I mean,
so.
I feel like we can't have 2 like hard yeses or 2 nos. I'm just gonna play it neutral and try to play off both sides for now.
I mean, I do not know anything about the manga. So have you read the manga up to a certain point?
Like a volume of it, like just enough to get a comparison between the anime and this. And the only thing I knew from the manga was that they did have to make some script changes that were unplanned to help it fit into the single core system. And they were like, oh, it'll all get like make sense later. But I do remember hearing some case about that. So We don't need to get into it. We do need to get into spoilers, though.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god.
All right.
Okay, where do we start?
I was going to ask you, where would you like to start, Caroline?
Um,
Can someone please
you
tell
see,
me what the
you
point
guys
of this
not
show is?
really What's the point of any anime?
This anime doesn't have a story. There's no story at all until like episode 11.
It's a
like
story about the secrets behind the shadows.
which they don't tell you. They don't even hint at what the secrets might be. Like I don't even
You
have
see,
it.
I feel like they've already told you quite a bit. So you figure out what the shadows are. They are these I forget what they're called, like they're little supernatural creatures. And they eventually evolved into becoming sentient enough to copy the look of humans that they are brought to. And then they grow alongside them into the same appearances. Those humans become their servants. And then eventually, when they become in sync enough, they become one being.
Well, I didn't.
You figured
really,
that out by the end of the show.
I didn't.
Before that,
but,
you did not know.
But I
what
also
they
fell
were
asleep.
and
Like
how they'd be.
I also fell asleep every episode of this anime, except for the last 3 episodes. I'm not even kidding. I don't think I saw episode 8 at all. I think I slept through the whole thing.
Mitsugi out here watching Sleepy House.
It was so fucking boring. It was so boring. Come on, five and a half episodes wandering around the fucking garden, like what? Just so they could.
It's a trial. They have to like figure things out. And honestly,
Holy
I
shit!
actually
It's not
kind
Naruto.
of enjoyed it.
I mean, it wasn't like. I mean, it's not Naruto. Like, they don't have the runtime to be wasting 5 episodes on an escape room, basically. I don't know.
Well, I actually found the characters to be interesting, though you guys seem to think they're pretty flat.
So I don't mind Emiliko as much as you guys. I think she is annoying. Yes, do not misunderstand my support of her. But obviously she's supposed to be the dunce that is the polar opposite of the reserved and modest Kate, and it is supposed to be look how opposite of the person she's supposed to be mimicking. There's no way she's gonna succeed. She's the underdog. She is the ultra high beam Genki bright light that illuminates the world around her when she should be subdued and submissive and bland. And I get that she had to be that way for the point. Yes, it is very extra. I mean, I didn't enjoy watching her, but I get why she is the way she was.
Yeah, I mean, and I can be okay with the whole sunshine thing. They literally call her Sunshine in this anime. I can be okay with that. The problem becomes when she falls over for the millionth time and she just laughs maniacally. Like, okay, it's not that funny.
The problem is every other
or when
character that's just an archetype.
Yeah, I mean, though honestly, I did not mind the characters that they had because I kind of just went in assuming that every single shadow was an enemy, and they're not. It's more of like the adult shadows are because they have grown up into the system where they are perfectly okay with taking over the bodies of children, but the shadow children are actually, I like them, they are not exactly the most deepest characters, but their relationships with their living doll servants I enjoyed watching because Kate and Emiliko have a really good back and forth, I think.
I would agree with that. The relationship between Shadow and equivalent doll is the crux of the success of this show. Seeing how they bounce off one another, how sometimes the Shadow is the brave and taking charge, and sometimes it's the doll, and kind of how they grow from one another and complement each other's flaws. I get all that and I like that, but when it comes to the pool ball effect of them bouncing off one another and kind of finding their way in this world, that's where the show kind of breaks down for me. So in these individual pairs, I'm okay with it, but as a collective, the show assumes that we care enough to kind of uncover the mystery of why these things are happening, and I just simply don't. There's just stuff that goes on for no reason other than to say, oh, there's something at play. What could it be? Find out in season 2. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
There may not be enough hinting going on to drum up the curiosity of all these quote unquote secrets, maybe. You know, like, I assume there's all kinds of information that we don't know, but I don't have. My curiosity has not been ignited to the point where I want to know the secrets. It's almost like I don't know what I don't know. Like, there's not even like half of a reveal where you're like, oh, like they finally got around to it at the end, which is like, you know, the girl who talks to her finger, like the kid from The Shining, and is like was a reveal right at the end. And then like the reveal that all of these kids are actually like real kids and not. See, I thought they were like fucking literally animatronics, like coming out of a box like that were activated with magic for about half of the show. And then, you know, episode 9 or 10 or whatever, they're like, oh, they're actually kids from like the village. So, you know, maybe that was in episode 8 when I was sleeping deeply, but, you know, I don't know. But there's just not enough, like, it's a very mysterious anime, but at the same time, like, I just didn't care about the mystery because, I don't know, they didn't entreat me to care. I feel like
all the evil forces are just so bland. Like, you have Edward,
Yeah.
which isn't that like
He's not a
frightening.
good villain.
You have like Barbie, like she has spiky teeth, but like there's really no antagonistic force that draws me into this story. Like, if you start off a mystery and they're like, "Oh, a murderer is on the loose. Like, what are we gonna do?" I'm like, "Oh, dang, this is serious. What's going on? I want to watch." But if they're like, "Oh, we have a jaywalker on the loose," you're just like, uh, I mean, cool, I guess. Like, great. Like, there wasn't a hook to bring me into this world, and I was like, "Oh, Emilico likes eating bread." Like, kawaii, I guess, but like, what more is there to it? And I think when it did try to get into that with like this maze arc, which had potential, but they're just like, nah, pick a random device. Oh, lol, you guessed wrong. It looks like you can't save her. Like, that just seemed so contrived, where I was just like, why does this happen? And I just didn't get it.
Yeah, and also like all the reveals that we did get, it was mostly through Kate who somehow found out all this information about the shadows that none of the other shadow children found out. And I honestly don't know if I missed the part where she just randomly found all this information or if they did not even tell us.
So it's been a while since I've seen the show, but she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna sneak in, and I'm gonna talk with Edward, and he's gonna tell me all the secrets, but then I'm gonna get saved." And it was just like the consequences of everything were so tame. And I think another thing that hurt this show is there were moments that were supposed to be, I think, kind of frightening, like spooky, like soot monsters are attacking them, and they're like spritzing these little water bottles on them and like almost giggling. Like, how am I supposed to be afraid or frightened or in suspense for these characters when they themselves seem so like nonchalant for everything going on? Like, the tone of what the characters were going through seemed at odds with what the show was trying to get me to feel, and it just felt like there was a disconnect that never culminated in a feeling or emotion.
Yeah, and also in the climax, when Kate and Emilico are trying to get off the tower away from Edward and the other two shadows. Okay, so we got his name's like John,
Yep,
the
John.
shadow boy.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he basically sacrifices himself like in order to push them over to the other side of the mansion from the tower, leaving himself there with the 3 adult shadows. I'm like, "Oh shit. John's gonna die." And I like John. So I was like, "Oh no, John's gonna die." But no, they just left him there. They didn't even hurt him. Like
I do
that
like
that
how
was
I do like how all their names for the dolls were derived from the shadows. That was
yeah.
really cool. Or at least a nice little touch that I enjoyed. I don't know if I'd call it really cool, but I was like, yeah, that's neat. And it took me admittedly a long time to figure that out. I
Me
was like
too.
halfway through, and I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. I don't know. I thought this show looked nothing special. Like, it was kind of stiff, but it was consistent. Like, from episode 1 through episode and it didn't really falter. It just kind of was fine. I wonder how much of that was impacted by the fact that the previous season, Cloverworks did 3 shows, and maybe just were a little burnt out or didn't have staff, or just were trying to keep it simplistic.
I think it looks fine. You know, I didn't really have a problem with how it looked at all. You know, I think my issues with I didn't care for the music much. I can't remember who it was, but like somebody was you Mason that was talking about how great the opening was.
I really like the OP.
Not the you like the song?
I like the whole fitting of like the classical like waltz that was playing with like the spinning mirrors. I thought that was well done.
Are we listening to the same OP? Because it was just like some girl like la da 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 da.
I don't think it was a girl singing in it.
That is not a song you could listen to in the car.
No, but it was a song fitting for like the era.
I guess. What is it supposed to be set like Victorian era?
That's
I don't think it's supposed to be set anywhere in particular, but
just with the gothic structures and old timey stuff, like it was fitting. Am I ever going to be like, oh, Shadow's House OP, that's a bop? Like, no, but it got me in the mood to watch the show, and I think a lot of people like the ending.
I feel like the music combined with the animation of the OP fits. It's at least decent.
It's
Overworks tends to do well in their OPs, and I thought this was no exception.
I'm not really sure what else to say, really. I think the show had 3 sections. There was the intro section, which I thought was boring. Then there was the garden section, which was way too long. I mean, it just was.
Yep.
And
hard agree.
And honestly, I think accomplished next to nothing. I don't know. It was amazing how little that accomplished for 5 or 6 episodes. And then the ending was, to me, where they finally got to like the intriguing stuff, and then it ended a little too abruptly. And I'm supposed to watch the second season, I guess. I just can't see myself really watching the second season. It's like, well, I've seen enough airtime. You know, I don't know. I hate it when these shows, like, this is not the only anime that does this. They just, like, fuck around for too long, and then they're like, oh, well, you're just going to watch the second season because you have nothing better to do. It's like, no, I'm not going to watch the second season because you should have gotten to more in the first season and gave me a reason to watch the second season. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I don't, you know, I'm literally, like, editing these podcasts while I'm working. I'm, like, barely getting this done. There's no way I can just, like, they don't have the luxury anymore. And so, like, I don't know. I used to say a lot of anime just don't have a story, really, like, to fill 12 episodes. This one might have a story to fill 12 episodes, but clearly it's going to be longer than that. But, like, there's just way too many shows where, you know, they do some stuff in the first 2 episodes, and then they just completely fuck off for the whole show, and then they come back and they go, oh yeah, we forgot. There's, like, things to do at the end, and then they dump some stuff in here at the end, and I don't really think this is like an egregious example of that, but I do think the middle of the show was like a big waste. You know, I what did we learn out of the garden thing? That Kate can use powers? Like, is that pretty much all we got?
No. Well, we already knew that Kate could use powers before the garden. I think the main point of the whole labyrinth arc, or whatever you want to call it, I think it was also that everyone, like Shadows and their counterparts, could feel some sort of friendship towards Emilico, and then would be more willing to help her out in the latter half.
Yeah, it was her, like, proving ground of a sort.
You know, despite all the negativity, I thought the show was a somewhat original. Like, I enjoyed the original concepts that it had. You know, I have this suspicion that season 2 will be way better than the first season, and because I wonder, you know, I think that there are questions to be answered, and I think that the shadow concept hasn't been done that I've seen recently, or maybe ever. And I mean, it looked fine. So I know there's a pretty good chunk of the audience that likes this show pretty well. It's just, I don't know. I'm not great at sitting through like really slow stuff, and so that's just me. But I don't think the show was abysmal. I just think that it you know, it lacked a solid weight behind its punch. I just don't think it had it.
Yeah,
that's most of what I have for this.
Yeah, I don't have too much else to get into. Caroline?
Oh, I also wanted to bring up the whole fact that in order to get the living dolls out of their brainwashing or whatever, Kate had to literally drown Emilico in water, like cup after cup after cup, throwing up like 3 times in order to get the whole brainwash thing out of her. It took Sean a few punches to the head, and to Ricky, I think what was his name? Richard? Was that his counterpart's
Patrick.
name? Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, it took him like saying one keyword and that knocked him out of his brainwashing. So it was like
Ricky,
drowning, a couple punches, and one single word.
yeah, Ricky was like freaking out. Patrick's like, "Hey, stop it!" He's like, "Oh, okay." Like it happened so
Yeah, I
quickly,
gotcha.
I almost missed it. I think it was like a
Yeah.
couple scenes later. I was like, "Wait, why isn't he? Why isn't he like under their spell?" And I had to like rewind. And I'm like, "Oh, it just happened."
And I don't even know what the trigger was for the other girl, the red-haired girl.
Did they
Oh,
all
Lou?
wake up? I thought one of
Lou.
them. I
Yeah,
thought
they
one of
all
them
woke
was-
up.
Okay.
I honestly don't know what happened with Luz. I remember she got out of the brainwash, but I don't even know how.
I don't quite remember. Yeah, it's been months since I've seen the show. I'll be honest.
I just thought it was funny how this was a massive deal. All of them were brainwashed, and it took Emilico to literally drown, and it took the others like not even a fraction of that.
Yeah, drowning is pretty much the worst out of the three, for sure, or four,
Yeah,
or however many.
Yeah, they hit us hard at first, and I'm like, wow, are they gonna have to drown all the others? Nope, just
It's some
a
pretty
punch in the
lax.
face works too.
It's some pretty lax brainwashing, though. It's like, oh, it's like if you can undo someone's like mental brainwashing with water, like what the fuck kind of brainwashing?
It took
is
a
that?
lot of cups of water.
I mean, to
It's
be fair,
water,
like
though.
3 times.
water has been like throughout the series used to like dispel the suit. So like it made sense that it was like the same
I
sort
guess.
of weakness base, but yeah, it was pretty weak.
Weak
have some,
tea,
like-
get it? They're so obsessed with fucking
Exactly.
tea in this
Give
show.
give them some like airborne, give them that bubbly water. That seltzer would really just
Ooh,
blow them out
yeah.
of the universe.
I like.
Should have
seltzer.
just given them some monster.
Give them that Aquafina.
It's getting empty. This monster. I did refill it. It's getting empty.
Shall we move on to our final scores?
Yeah, I think so.
Caroline, why don't you do the honors?
Okay. You guys know how I like this show. There are certain things that were not fantastic about it, but even so, I really enjoyed watching this show. So I would have to give it 3.5
Wow,
annoying Emilicos that are never spelled correctly by Mitsugi out of 5.
I never. No, man, I thought you were gonna give a better score. Did we influence your score?
You know, I'm not gonna give it
No.
4. 4 is like for like, wow, this was amazing. Can't really think many bad things about it. But honestly, this show, it is a little bit more slice of life and slower paced than I'm sure a lot of us would prefer.
Mason,
Three and a
how about
half
you?
is about what I was thinking from Caroline. So yeah, that holds up. Once again, I thought this was an interesting world, and I would be cautiously interested in hearing if Cloverworks does pick up season 2. But honestly, I still think the manga will be the superior way to take in the story if you are interested. At the end of the day, there were so many contrivances that undercut the main story, and there were so many characters that undercut the tone of the scenes that I feel like for a show with so much cleaning, it lacked polish. I'm going to give this show 2 Nyes out of 5.
Nice.
Nyes. Because the ending song is called Nye Nye.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, the show was. I just found it flat. You know, I didn't really. You know, it's generally forgettable for me. I don't know, but it's not like I wasn't offended watching it. It didn't make me mad. You know, the ending, I thought, even though you guys thought the ending was the weakest part, I guess, I thought the ending was the better part. A decent segue into a second season. You know, they did open up more intrigue with, like, the grandfather and all that. So, probably I'd give it, like, in typical Mitsugi fashion, I talk a lot of shit, and then I give a better score than Mason.
Yeah, I mean that's how it works, and it always baffles me. But that's the joy of this. You never know what you're gonna get.
I'd probably give it 4. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say better than Caroline, boys. 4.5 out of 5.
I was
prob-
thinking 4, but 3.5. But
I'd probably give it like 2.5 cups of tea out of 5. They drink a lot of tea in this.
well, yeah, because they're like fancy, the nobles
They're
after
proper.
Yeah, so
And over here, I'm just like, that's a bird.
all.
We did it.
And I've heard nothing about a second season, but there has to be one. I'm sure I'm sure it'll happen. It would be. I mean, practically everything gets a second season now. So I mean, I think I'd be. Wouldn't you guys be pretty stunned if this thing never got a second season?
I don't know how popular it is, but I would hope it gets a second season.
Me too.
All right.
We did it. We did it. We did the show. That was episode 592. Don't forget, we have a blast over on Twitch. You can see us, and actually see us mess up writing down all these names for anime Scattergories and not just whatever audio cuts Mitsugi does. So you can suffer in real time with us every Sunday where we stream. Follow myself on Twitter at Macy Pacey, but no one cares. What you really want to follow is the podcast at AAA Podcast. That's where you get all the updates, news, whatever. Facebook, Discord, find all those links top of our website, along with mailbags, ways to donate, and you get so much content and so many ways for us to give back to you guys. So we really do appreciate it. iTunes reviews, if you just leave 5 stars, that would be pretty awesome. And I think I might call you my friend if you did that, but I don't know. We just have a blast. Next week, our review of Zombieland Saga Revenge, which yeah, Caroline just watched season 1, so she's all queued up, and I'm hyped. I'm really hyped for this. So maybe 3 straight weeks of giving shows a 2 out of 5 will come to an end. We will see. But thanks everyone who joined us live, and we will see you next week. So have a good one.
See you later.
Revenge.
Yeah, this show's so
I never
good.
I never finished the first season of Zombieland Saga.
I watched the first 2 Revenge episodes today, so already on the way.
Oh, so good.
Bye,
Can't wait
guys.
for Mitsugi to auto-tune our voices for this review.
Oh, God.
Bye.
See ya.